Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another fragrance review. Thank you so much for joining me today. And in this most recent cafleurebon contributor review, I have the opportunity of telling you all about this fragrance by the brand Nihilo. This one is called Atlas Fever. By watching this video, you will also find out what you can do in order to enter for your chance to win a full-size bottle of this fragrance. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of Atlas Fever by Nihilo, and I tell you all about this fragrance, what it smells like to me, the vibe that I get from it, the performance, the longevity, so on and so forth, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube, but also giveaways, top 10s, special announcements, unboxings, so on and so forth, I do want to encourage you to consider supporting this channel by clicking on that red subscribe button down below. And of course, if you can give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, it would really mean a lot to me. Now, before I jump into the review, I do want to tell you how you can enter to win a full-size bottle of Atlas Fever by Nihilo. So you have to be a cafleurebon registered reader. I'm going to leave all of the information down below in the description box, so make sure to click and follow that link. After you become a registered reader, just read through the article. All of the things that you have to leave a comment on below the article will be mentioned in the article itself. And so just make sure to read through that article, leave a comment below the article, and of course the winner will be announced on cafleurebon shortly thereafter the publishing of the article. So do make sure to come back to cafleurebon.com to find out if you won. So good luck everybody out there. This is an absolutely amazing fragrance composed by Shyamala Mason-Dew, and she has done so many fragrances, many of which I own. If we're talking about Avant-Garde by Lanvin, if we're talking about Blue Sugar by Aquilina, many fragrances for Lancôme, and her resume goes on and on. Now, of course, this one with a name like Atlas Fever, it does contain Atlas cedarwood, and so it's a very woodsy fragrance. You have the cedar, you have oak, you have sandalwood, you have guaiac wood, but then you also have some ingredients in the opening, including red berries and incense, along with narcissus, that really create this complexity and this flair in the composition. And narcissus at times can be a little heady, it can be quite green, it can also have tobacco undercurrents. So this is a very complex, very sophisticated fragrance, and totally appropriate for the season that we're about to enter. So I'm very excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance. Let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you have this tart, fruity vibe along with a little bit of smoke. Now, the incense quality in here smells a little bit more smoky than it does balsamic. And of course, whenever we think of incense, a lot of people think of olibanum, maybe copal, maybe dragon's blood, maybe any of these varieties of incense that we're so used to lighting either in bakur form or, on a charcoal briquette, or maybe in a stick or cone, or even lavani. But in this fragrance, you get that smoke, but I think the sweetness that you're going to get from it comes mainly from the vanilla that is in the base. So the vanilla combines with the woods to really create this strong, long-lasting, exotic and resolute base, which I'm personally loving. And you have that robust and bold quality present from the very start. Even though your nose will be greeted by a few other notes initially, eventually you will begin to perceive the vanilla and the woods. So you have that red berry and incense opening. That touch of smoke is really modern, really exquisite, and really adding a dash of an exotic quality to this fragrance that I'm really enjoying. And it's something that I don't get in too many other fragrances. And so it's something that I enjoy sparingly. So whenever I do encounter a fragrance that has a dash of smoke in it, just a drop of smoke, I really do enjoy it. And I feel like it adds this complexity and allure and intrigue to the fragrance. Now, of course, once you give this fragrance a chance to dry down a little bit, you do start to get this darker quality from the narcissus. Now, I'm not a fan of too heady florals. And so there are many varieties of Narcissus on the market depending on the method of extraction. But the Narcissus that I'm getting from this one is a little bit green, just a tad green, but it also has some tobacco nuances, which I think are gelling really well with the vanilla and the woods. And it is contributing to that long-lasting base, despite the fact that the Narcissus is listed as a heart note. So you are going to get this really interesting progression from the top to the heart to the base. It's multidimensional, it's multifaceted. There is so much going on in this fragrance, and I really admire this fragrance for that long-lasting quality, but also the complexity. It seems like a lot of long-lasting fragrances are so base heavy that creates the linearity of the fragrance, and so you're not going to get too many bells and whistles in the opening or in the heart. But in the case of this fragrance, you do have that steady progression from top to mid to bottom, and this is something that I have explored and experienced in so many of Maison Dew's other works. And so this is another masterpiece to add to the lineup and to her resume. And of course, I have tried almost every fragrance from the brand Ex Nihilo, and I've had the opportunity of smelling them all in person quite a number of years ago, and I've been trying my best to keep up with the recent releases. As a matter of fact, I even own a couple, including Devil Tender and Citizen X, and of course I love Fleur Narcotique, but Atlas Fever is an awesome fragrance, and one that I think you should absolutely check out if you're looking for something a little darker, a little heavier for the autumn and the winter time. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, despite the fact that this fragrance possesses some ingredients that I have inevitably encountered in other fragrances, including the cedarwood, including the vanilla, including the sandalwood and the oak, I really feel like the overall personality of this fragrance presents me with an olfactive picture that I'm now seeing metaphorically for the first time. And so this is a unique fragrance. I think it's going to be a very accessible fragrance, but you must be a fan of perfumes that are a little bit on the darker side, because you do get that smoke in the opening, you do get the incensey qualities, and of course you do get that long-lasting woodsy base in tandem with the vanilla. In terms of the longevity, you can expect 8+ hours on your skin. On a good day, you will get 10+ hours. The projection of this one is fantastic for the first 2 hours of application, and it even radiated beyond an arm's length. And so if you really care about performance, you are going to get exceptional performance from Atlas Fever by Ex Nihilo. In terms of the versatility, I think it would do really well in the colder weather, so I would probably refrain from wearing this one in the springtime and the summertime. I think it's perfectly unisex because a lot of the ingredients contained therein are gender neutral, and there is something about it, including the price, that makes me feel more inclined to wear this one for a dressed up scenario or a special occasion. However, if you have the money to be able to afford to wear this one casually, then of course, by all means, wear it when you want, wear what makes you happy. These are just recommendations. I've always been a proponent of people wearing what they love and wearing what puts a smile on your face and makes you feel confident. In terms of the presentation, everything from the foam box to the sleeve to the gold hardware to the certificate of authenticity, everything about this fragrance is absolutely stunning. So my final verdict on Atlas Fever is it's an amazing cedarwood based fragrance along the lines of some others that you might have smelled on the market, but it's really the inclusion of all of these other ingredients, the incense, the red berries, that fruity tart introduction, the complexity of the narcissus, that decadent and dulcet quality from the vanilla that is really going to lure you in, and you will witness the originality of the composition right away. I am a huge fan of this one. I am so happy and so lucky to have this one in my possession at the moment. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate your time and your viewership. That was my fragrance review of Atlas Fever by Ex Nihilo. Of course, if any part of this review inspired you, or maybe I described this fragrance in a way that made it sound like you might be interested in sampling it or trying it out, please go ahead and try this fragrance out for yourself. I'm going to leave all of the information down below if you are interested in getting your hands on a bottle of this fragrance. And of course, once again, make sure to enter that giveaway on cafleurebon.com. All of the information, once again, is going to be down below. And so good luck. I'm rooting for you all. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe if you took something of value from this video. Also, don't forget to like this video for the YouTube algorithm. I love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.